Good morning, team, and welcome back to the channel. So it is the day after we did run that high day, and data has been gathered. So data has been gathered. In all fairness, the food sat absolutely perfectly. No issues whatsoever. Definitely far better than the sushi 30 roll refeed that we did have. From a body weight standpoint, I was 90.1 yesterday morning. This morning, 91.3. So a 1.2 kilo increase. Sleep in the fucking bin last night. I was up at 2:30 this morning. I came downstairs and I thought, you know what, I'm actually going to try and get back to sleep. Went back upstairs, couldn't go back to sleep. I was just thinking about work. So I ended up just coming down and just starting. So it is currently 5:15. I've done 4 check-ins. I've still got my check-in to do as well. But I'll put a video of my check-in itself on the screen. Should be looking a lot fuller. I feel fuller, don't get me wrong. But I'm going to give it another like half hour just till it gets a little bit brighter so I can go in my usual check-in spot. And I'm trying to keep like the check-in photos standardized. Like I'm doing my check-in visuals are like in between quarter to 6 and 6 o'clock. So I'll do that again. I'll get the video on the screen. And then I haven't prepped my food today yet, just because things may adjust. I don't think they will. Main reason, we're up 1.2. I doubt we're going to run another high day today. It probably will just be a case of getting back to digging. But what I don't want to do is prep my food and then potentially Ben say, let's run another high day. So I'm just hanging fire ever so slightly. Ben's on it, we're giving feedback. So I'm sure I'll get my feedback nice and early from him anyway. But like I said, I'm sure we'll be back down to baseline calories today. So plan of action today is same as every other day. We just work, we get our head down, we train, we get our steps in. I do have a call with my posing coach at 9 o'clock this morning. So going through some rounds with him. I will be seeing him in a couple of weeks in person anyway as well, which will be good because things can be much easier and better in person as well. But I got my call with him at 9. Go through some posing, send my updates to Ben. We've got pull with Ryan as well, which what I'm probably going to do is use this video as like a come and train back with me. I'll train pull with Ryan and I'll get a lot of my training clips recorded. And I'll put the video on the screen of the exercises and the cues so I can give you guys some value when it comes to training as well. I'll do my cardio, come back, we finish off work, and we get Riley's result posted on Instagram tonight. So another busy day, but the good thing is about my sleep being shit and waking up so early is I get a shit done in the morning. You know, up at 2:30, it's 5:20 now. You know, I've done a shed ton of work. So I'm ahead of myself. We're getting things done. So yeah, let's crack into work. And then I will probably just show you straight into the gym. I don't want these videos to get repetitive and seem boring, but that's why I want to give you the training footage because I can give you value on training as well. So let's get stuck in today. Let's get our head down. Let's get after it and let's chase these goals. So quick update, guys. I've had feedback from Ben. Sent him over the video of me posing and also just like my posing shots. I done like some sort of classic shots as well. He's happy, you know, 1.2 kilo that we've gained. So it's data gathered, but the thing is I was 800 grams of carbohydrates that went in and I only put on 1.2. So it's going to be exciting filling me up for the show. I feel as if there's going to be more than 800 grams of carbs needed. Maybe not in like one set day, but over like maybe a two to 3 day time period. I also sent video, the posing routine video over to Mark as well, Mark Hodgson, and he's very happy with it as well. So I'm buzzing with the feedback. And in all fairness, a bit of advice here as well for those of you that are maybe in a photo shoot prep. You know, I could send that video to 10, 15 people, you know, and have 10 to 15 different people's view on it. Whereas for me, I've got 3 to 4 people that I'll send it to. You know, number 1, my coach Ben. Number 2, Case, my posing coach. I've sent it over to Mark Hodgson as well because he just understands bodybuilding through and through, and he ain't gonna blow smoke up my arse. He'll just tell me fucking straight, to be fair. If I look shit, he'll say. If I look good, he'll say. So he's someone that, like, I'm very happy to send my video to or photos to because I really respect his opinion, and also Ryan as well. Just because he understands bodybuilding, but he's also coming up with me to the first show, so I want him to like be looking out for certain things as well. And he gave me some feedback. So no changes today. We're back to baseline. We're back to baseline food. So 3,000. Let's have a quick look. I've prepped my food this morning for today. So 3,700 calories. I've got my call in 23 minutes with Case going through the posing. So what I'm going to do is do some steps now, do like a 10 or 15 minute walk, have the posing, and then get into my second meal. And then we head to the gym for a big back day. That is the posing lesson done and wrapped up with Case. So another very productive session wrapped up. It absolutely kills, to be fair, like going into them poses and holding them. What we were focusing on this morning was just like holding the poses for longer. It's like cardio in itself, to be fair, but he's happy with how I'm looking. Posing is definitely getting better. We're going through transitions, seeing what is still going to look the best for me on the day. And I think I know we're getting there. We're getting there. So it's only going to get better as the weeks go on. We're approaching we're 4 weeks out, you know, so posing something that I've got to get nailed down to display the best look on the day. And I'm getting more confident. I'm more confident in the poses as well. So we've got meal 2 in the microwave, which is chicken, rice and veg, 2 grams of pink salt. We'll put 10 grams of sriracha sauce on top. There's a couple of tasks then that I need to do before I head out to the gym, a couple of adjustments to programs. So I'll get that done. We head to the gym, we train, and then I'll take you through my back day. I'll definitely record like a fair few clips. Whether I record every one, I'm not sure, but I'll definitely get the bulk of the clips on there. And I'll also show you what the training session, the full training session breakdown, the sets, the rep ranges, and just take you through a good pull day. So I'm going to dig into my next meal, get this done, and I'll see you at the gym. Good morning, team. So it is currently the following day after the pull day yesterday. When I got back from the gym, I just had a lot of work to do, and I thought, you know what, I'll just finish off the YouTube video tomorrow, because when you're filming and editing and posting yourself, it can get a lot sometimes. So I thought, you know what, let's just get ahead of work. I got the photo shoot with the lads tomorrow, you know, with it being Saturday. So I thought, right, let's prioritize them over editing a YouTube video, and then I'll just finish it off in the morning. So I'll go through my full training session from yesterday. The session itself consisted of, let me just bring it up on my phone. So the session itself was ab crunch to start, so 2 sets. Then we done 3 sets of a heavy hammer curl, 3 sets of single arm preacher. Then we done pull over, then we done barbell row, single arm pull down, prime row, T-bar row, and then we done a neutral grip pull down, which I'll go over for you now. So first exercise up, we have the ab crunch. Now, I personally like to do my abs first just because they're fresh and I can hit them with good intensity. So what I'm focusing on when I am performing the ab crunch is keeping my hips in the same position. I'm not driving my hips back and driving my hips forward. All I'm thinking about is letting my spine come up and stretch my abs out, and then I'm contracting over. And as I am contracting over into the shortened position, I'm letting all the air out. So I'm coming down, tensing my midsection as hard as I can, and then nice and slow then on the eccentric. Slight pause, and then we drive back in. You know, what we don't want is to see too much hip shift. We don't want them hips coming forward and back. We want to keep them hips in the same position. And all we're thinking about is just crunching over and engaging as much of our abs as possible, driving as much blood flow in there as we possibly can. Then we go into the hammer curls. Now, what I'm doing recently is I am putting my arm work first. So my biceps before my pull day, and then my triceps before my push day. And the reason being, I can hit them fresh. You know, I can hit them fresh. I'm not fatigued doing them at like the end of a pull day and I'm half-arsing them. I'd rather hit them nice and fresh. So hammer curl, nice and straightforward. You know, standing nice and tall, and then I'm just simply thinking about curling up and coming straight back down. Like there's no real fancy cues here at all. You know, what we're just thinking about is doing this unilaterally, so one arm at a time. When I'm coming up into the contraction, I'm having a good squeeze. And it's a great exercise to blow up your biceps, but also get a good forearm pump as well. I really like the hammer curl. I've been running it for quite some time. I get a great pump, you know, and it sets me up lovely then for the preacher curl, which will be the next exercise. So yeah, really like this exercise. We're just simply thinking about keeping them elbows in a hinge position, or should I say in a fixed position, and then we're just using them as hinges. We're coming up, we're coming down, we're coming up, we're coming down to complete failure. Next exercise. So we have the preacher curl. Now, how I'm doing the preacher curl here is I'm setting it up on an incline bench. The reason being there is no preacher curl machine in Hubbard Gym, the one that I'm training in. But to be totally honest with you, like I love this exercise. I was doing this in Dubai as well when I was there. I just feel like I get a great connection. You know, what I'm thinking about here, and a good cue to think about, is you want to have your armpit right on the top of the bench. You know, and the reason for that is the shoulder isn't going to move. We don't want the shoulder moving forward. We don't want the shoulder moving back. So what I'm thinking about is having my armpit directly on the top of that bench, and then slow on the eccentric, hard on the concentric, and then I'm thinking about just driving my tricep into the bench as well, because by doing so, all that is going to be engaged then is that bicep. You know, fully stretch, pause at the stretch, you know, and then we're dragging back in with a good contraction then at the top. And then my biceps are absolutely fried after this. So first back exercise of the day, and it is going to be the pullover. Now, I like to start off on the pullover just because I find that it fries my lats and I can get a lot of blood flow in there for my next exercise. Now, what I'm thinking about here is I'm just thinking as my hands as being hooks. You know, what too many people do sometimes is they drive like their arms right down and like their hands down, you know, and you'll just feel that way too much on your triceps. So what you want to think about here is your hands as being hooks, and then we're initiating the movement by dragging your elbow down and scooping it then into your lat. You know, we want to be coming off this exercise with your lats on fire, you know, and really thinking about when we're in that contraction, just contract your lat. Contract your lats as much as possible. 3 sets here, 10 to 15. Felt really good. Lats are on, ready to go into the next exercise. Right then, so first heavy movement of the day, and we are going into the barbell row. Now, with the barbell row, guys, you don't want to overthink this too much, and you'll see when I am performing this exercise that I'm not overthinking it. You know, what I'm just thinking about here is being hinged over a barbell, gripping and ripping. So this is my back off set. I done 140 for my top set, but I filmed that like more portrait mode so I can get that on Instagram. So this is my back off set here. I'm hinged over a bar. I've got my straps on. Make sure that when we're doing any pulling movements, we're using our straps. And as you can see, there's aggression. You know, I'm not thinking too much about feel. I'm gripping, I'm ripping, I'm getting angry with it. I'm getting aggressive with it. You know, hinged over a barbell. Like, we're just fucking lighting up the posterior chain here. Okay, so don't overthink barbell rows too much. Hinge over, grip, and rip the fuck out of it. Next exercise coming up, we have the single arm pull down. Now, this is more of an exercise that we want to focus more on feel, you know, focus more on feel here, you know, and what I'm thinking about is keeping my chest nice and proud throughout. So keeping that chest nice and proud, nice and stable base by using my opposing arm to brace against the machine. And then I'm thinking elbow down into pocket. You know, that's what we want to be thinking about here. Fully lengthen at the top, Keep that chest nice and proud, and then we're dragging through the elbows. So thinking elbow forward and down and in and scooping into that lat then. You know, after doing the pull over and the barbell row, this just completely tortures my lat then. Thinking unilaterally, one arm at a time, getting that elbow nice and tight to the rib cage, and then just scooping into the lat then. And then second row of the day, we have the prime row. So how I am loading the prime row is mainly top peg, you know, probably like 75-25% split, because my back is fried. So when you're using a prime kit, you know, you can manipulate the resistance profile just to allow for you to get it short. Once again, chest nice and proud, thinking about dragging the elbows wide. You know, I'm not dragging the elbows in and tight to my torso. I'm coming wide. And the reason for that is I want to engage as much upper back fibers as possible. Fully stretch at the top, thinking about hugging my chest with my shoulders. And then we're ripping as hard back as we possibly can. And then this just completely fries me. Chest supported heavy rows. I feel like I need a good breather afterwards. And then the T-bar row. So T-bar row, it felt good yesterday, but I couldn't really get my grip properly. You can see with like my left arm, I'm just like shaking it a bit. You know, and the reason why I'm not using straps here is the grips are like rubber. So I couldn't get my straps tight enough, which is a bit of a fucking nightmare. You know, but similar to the prime row, my chest is staying nice and firm on that pad. I'm fully protracting at the stretch, and then I'm initiating the movement with elbows back. You know, I'm not thinking about like dragging my hands up. I'm thinking dragging my elbows up and wide, and then just fully protracting, spending a bit of time in that stretch, and then ripping back, you know, and then pinching my shoulder blades together. And after the barbell row, after the barbell row, the prime row, I'm fucking fried at this point. So to finish off then the last exercise of the day, we have the close grip lat pull down. Now with this lat pull down, it's okay. The reason why it's not the best is it's not, you can't get great range of motion. You know, you can see that even when I'm putting my straps on, like it's near enough at my shoulders. So when I am coming down into the lat pull down, you know, I can't fully let my arms come right up. I've got to sit far back, which is not ideal. But what I'm thinking about here is similar to the single arm pull down, chest nice and proud, elbows I'm keeping tight. Elbows nice and tight to the rib cage, dragging down, scooping in, you know, thinking forward, down, and then in. Good squeeze at the contraction, once again, to drive as much blood flow into the lats as possible. And this is the last exercise of the day. And that is a wrap on today's video. So I hope you enjoyed this sort of style as well. More so training footage this week, or should I say on this video, you know, it's just like a bit of like an overlay and like my thought process going into the sets itself. You know, but we are currently at the minute now 4 weeks and 1 day out from my first bodybuilding show, which I'm looking forward to. So I was down in body weight yesterday. Sorry, I was up in body weight yesterday with a high day. I dropped 0.5 kilo this morning, sent more updates over to Ben. More than likely, we're just back to usual calories today as well. I wouldn't expect any sort of high day now, you know, but we've gathered data. I'm happy, I'm feeling good. My midsection feels a lot tighter in the mornings as what it does after like 2 or 3 meals. I feel as if I just starting to like soften through the midsection. So we're just gathering data here. We're gathering data. We've got the team shoot tomorrow. So today now will just be a case of making sure that we get all the boys in a fantastic spot. Not just physically, like the work is done, the look is there. You know, just mentally, just not having them stressing about the day, you know, like they all look fucking superb. So it'll just be a case of rest, get more carbs in today, and then from tomorrow, they've all got their plans for tomorrow's food, you know, and then it'll be a case of do the photo shoot, enjoy the weekend, have some nice treats, and then I'll come back from the photo shoot and I'll be updating all their plans. So I'll film tomorrow for YouTube, you know, it'll be good to get that up, and then I'll probably be posting that then either the Saturday night or the Sunday. You know, when I'm filming these YouTubes, I like to be on it. You know, film, edit, post, film, edit, post. And we are banging these videos out. So, as always, I hope you enjoyed. Hope you took some value away from it. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys in the next one, which will be the team shoot.